Hey, how's it going? Ryan Caswell here from b2bleads.com, and let's jump straight into it. How to revive dead leads on LinkedIn. So let's say for whatever reason, you've reached out to people, you've grown your network on LinkedIn, you've got a big network. Some of those have gone through to booked calls and sales, but a number of them have just petered out, never responded, never got back to you, or said later, sometime in the future. Basically, they've gone dead, essentially. They're not going anywhere, but they're still potentially really great clients and people that you can help with your services, and you want a way to get in front of them and sort of bring those leads or those prospects back to life, get them into the pipeline. So I want to go through a few different methods that are really powerful to basically revive dead leads, and things that we use as well and suggest for our clients as well. So the first kind of most obvious one is like if you're reaching out to people, you're starting conversations, you're having calls and they're just not going anywhere. The best approach by far would have to be the passive approach, and I would say it would be posting content. And the best content by far, like client testimonials, client interviews, case studies. No one says what you do best better than your actual customers. So content like that, if you only ever did that kind of content going forward, that would be amazing basically. So posting content on your LinkedIn is a great way to just stay front of mind and remind people that you are good at what you do, and you're there, and this is the problem that you solve. So if you can post content somewhat regularly on LinkedIn, that's going to be the best passive sort of non-direct way to stay front of mind, and that's going to drive those future inbound leads. They're going to want to start coming to you so long as you can stay consistent with it. Now, sometimes we don't want to wait that long, or we want a more direct approach. And so there's a few different ways you can do it. So the obvious thing is to reach back out to them. So say enough time has passed since the last time you reached out to them and the conversation kind of went cold. Maybe it's a few months, 6 months, a year, whatever it is. Obviously you don't want to be going back the next day trying to revive a cold lead. It's kind of still active. There's two kind of approaches you can take. There's obviously a bespoke, customized approach. You reach out to each person individually. Hey John, it's been a while. Remember we talked about this, that, and the other. I want to see if you're still interested in a chat. We're doing this now. Reminding them of tell them what's changed, what's new. It's not rocket science. Basically just touching base, reconnecting, highlighting the value you can bring, what's changed since your last conversation, and trying to get them on a call that way. It's effective, but incredibly time consuming. And so a lot of people are interested in what's a way you can revive, dead leads at scale. And so the best thing we recommend is what we call running a first degree campaign on LinkedIn, where that is you collect all the people who are relevant and then run a campaign to these guys, inviting them to an event, trying to share a resource that they would find useful. The thing with, if you're trying to do this at scale, you got to remember that once you've got cold leads, every cold lead can be at a different point or a different stage. It's not like they've never heard of you before. And there could be conversations that exist. Everyone's going to be at different stages, having had different conversations. So it's really important, if you do want to do this at scale, you got to keep it somewhat general, because if you try to go too specific, it might sound strange as you send these messages to people. So we recommend having a good excuse to come up, reach out to someone again, and promoting an event, a webinar that you're running the next month, or promoting some resource that you've put together that you think they would find useful is a really powerful way to do that. So here's an example of one that we are constantly running to leads that we've reached out to in the past through a first degree campaign. So as you can see, it's not complicated. It really is just a matter of reigniting and restarting that conversation. So, hi John, hope you're well. Want to reach out shortly. We're going to be running a training webinar on all the latest B2B lead gen strategies and processes. I thought you might find it useful. Would you be interested in more information? So I preach this all the time. Never just send people links. Never dump them with too much information. We want engagement. If they're interested, they'll say yes, and then now we have a conversation, and we can send the information, and we know who to follow up on to get them registered for, say, an event like this. And people do need following up. And then once again, just send a follow-up 1 week later. Hey, just a friendly follow-up on my last message. It's going to be a great live event. We're going to go into the details, etc., etc. It's just a reminder, pull people back to the first message and just remind them of the value of the event. You might use something very similar to promote a new resource, an ebook, a guide. But I find live webinars are really useful because people, initially I never thought webinars would be a good idea because people can just watch videos, recorded videos. but there's something people really enjoy about seeing someone live. It's a great trust builder. So we run a monthly webinar. I'm always trying to get new people onto that to share more about what we do, and so they can ask questions as well. So this is a really great way to revive dead leads. I don't like the name dead leads, but cold leads essentially, and get them to see the value you provide, show them what's new, show them that you're still around and still rocking it. And I hope this is helpful. If you have any other questions or have any ideas that you've used to revive cold leads, I'd love to hear it. Put it in the comments below. And as always, Ryan Caswell from B2B Leads. Have a great day.